History is full of thieves, men who stole gold, kings who stole kingdoms, generals who stole empires. But some of history's greatest thieves never stole money at all. They stole belief. A single forged document changed Europe for centuries. A dead prince returned from the grave 3 different times. A fake ancient treasure fooled one of the greatest museums on earth. Entire kingdoms marched to war because people believed lies that had never been true. These are 5 frauds so convincing that they didn't fool one person. They fooled civilizations. 1. The donation of Constantine. It's the 8th century. Somewhere in Europe, a document begins circulating that appears to answer one of Christianity's biggest political questions. Who gave the Pope authority over kings? According to the document, the answer was Emperor Constantine himself. It claimed that after being cured of disease by Pope Sylvester, Constantine rewarded the Church with vast territories, political authority, and supreme power over the Western Roman Empire before moving his capital east to Constantinople. If true, it changed everything. Kings suddenly found themselves negotiating with a church that claimed its authority came directly from Rome's greatest emperor. For centuries, rulers accepted it. Popes cited it, lawyers defended it, wars and treaties were influenced by it. Then, in the 15th century, the scholar Lorenzo Valla noticed something strange. The Latin wasn't 4th century Latin. It used words and expressions that didn't even exist during Constantine's lifetime. The greatest political document in medieval Europe had been written hundreds of years after the man who supposedly signed it. One forgery had quietly shaped European history for nearly 700 years. 2. The false Dimitris. It's 1604. Russia is collapsing. The royal family is gone. Famine grips the land. Then, a miracle seems to happen. Prince Dmitri, the youngest son of Ivan the Terrible, who supposedly died as a child, appears alive, or so he claims. Thousands believe him. Powerful nobles support him. Foreign kingdoms recognize him. Against every expectation, he marches into Moscow and is crowned Tsar. The impossible has happened, until he is murdered less than a year later. That should have ended the deception. Instead, another Dmitri appears, then another, each claiming to be the true heir who somehow escaped death, each raising armies, each convincing desperate people that the rightful ruler had returned once again. For years, Russia tears itself apart, chasing men who never should have existed, not because the evidence was convincing, but because hope often speaks louder than proof. The Tiara of Saitaphernes. It's Paris in 1896. The Louvre has just purchased what experts believe is one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever made. A magnificent golden crown, supposedly crafted for the ancient Scythian king, Saitaphernes, over 2,000 years earlier. The craftsmanship is extraordinary. Scholars celebrate. The museum proudly displays its newest treasure. Visitors travel across Europe just to see it. There is only one problem. It isn't ancient. It had been made only a few years earlier by a talented goldsmith from Odessa named Israel Rushamovsky. He hadn't even intended to fool the Louvre. He had simply accepted a commission from art dealers who claimed the piece was a replica. When news spread that Paris was celebrating his ancient masterpiece, the embarrassed craftsman had to prove he was the real creator. The Louvre, one of the world's greatest museums, had unknowingly paid a fortune for modern artwork, pretending to be ancient history. Sometimes the greatest forgery isn't convincing because it's old, It's convincing because experts desperately want it to be real. The Vinland map. It's the middle of the 20th century. A weathered medieval map appears. If genuine, it rewrites world history. The map seems to show part of North America nearly 50 years before Christopher Columbus ever crossed the Atlantic. Suddenly, historians begin asking a shocking question. Had medieval Europeans known about America all along? Universities debate it. Researchers publish papers defending its authenticity. Collectors value it at millions of dollars. For decades, no one can agree. Then, modern scientific analysis begins examining the ink. It contains chemicals that simply didn't exist in the 15th century. The parchment may have been medieval. The drawing was not. One of history's most famous maps had been created hundreds of years after the voyage it supposedly recorded. The dream of rewriting history vanished under a microscope. 5. The Pseudo-Isidorian Decretals. It's the 9th century. Power struggles rage across medieval Europe. Bishops want greater independence from kings and local rulers. Then, an extraordinary collection of ancient church letters appears. The documents claim to preserve the writings of early popes stretching back centuries. Their message is remarkably convenient. They strengthen papal authority, protect bishops from secular interference, and reshape the balance of power inside the church. Church leaders embrace them, lawyers quote them, courts rely upon them. For centuries, almost nobody doubts their authenticity. Only much later do historians notice impossible quotations, incorrect historical references, and legal ideas that belong to a far later age. The letters had never existed, yet they permanently influenced medieval church law long after their true origin became known. Sometimes a forgery doesn't need to survive forever. It only needs to survive long enough to change the world. The greatest frauds in history rarely depended on perfect lies. They depended on perfect timing. People believed the donation of Constantine because they wanted certainty. They followed the false Demetres because they wanted hope. They admired fake treasures because they wanted discovery. They defended forged documents because they confirmed what they already believed. History isn't just shaped by truth. It's shaped by the stories people choose to trust. And sometimes, the most powerful weapon ever created wasn't an army or a sword. It was a lie, written convincingly enough that generations never thought to question it.